Good morning and welcome to day 8 of our little adventure here. And let me adjust the camera. I think I've told you before I can't do that before I am on air. So there you go. We are talking about Psalm 30 verses 4 and 5 today. And move my little bookmark there. And this is what it says. Sing praises to the Lord, O you saints, and give thanks to his holy name. For his anger is but for a moment, and his favor is for a lifetime. Weeping may tarry for the night, but joy comes with the morning. Isn't that good news? I don't think you want me to sing praises while I'm on the camera, for sure. But I love doing that during the day. Just whatever song is even in my head or what I wake up with in the morning, I especially search to see if there's some meaning in that for the day. But what my focus is really on, and I had written over here, his favor is for a lifetime. His favor is for a lifetime. It's a promise in the Bible. We don't even have to ask for it. It's just there for us to notice around us and to take advantage of. So what I thought I would do is a little more of a sketch today. Oh, and I'm a little distractible, sorry. And I wanted to show you the leaves from yesterday, how I just added a little bit of pen afterwards. And that really made a difference. So I just wanted to show you kind of the finished piece. And I thought it was interesting too that I was still on that number 4 thing for creativity. So I don't know, it could be just a little, I don't know what, for this morning. So, or for this series, that the Lord is enjoying our creativity. That's the end of that thought. There you go. I finished one thought today. So what I want to do is just kind of draw a little landscape and these little hills and valleys and etc. And I never like my hills to go quite to reflect quite what is below. And I want my house kind of front and, well, remember you kind of split this in thirds for your interest area. If you've taken my design class, we talk about that a lot in there. And I am going to add my little house right here. And I have like kind of my own wonky little houses that I like to do for myself, and you probably have your little wonky houses that you like to do for yourself if you've been sketching, doodling for a bit. It has a little bit of 3D motion going on there, not a whole lot. And then, I don't know actually that I need to emphasize the sun, which I'm thinking of is kind of my favor for my lifetime here. And I'm trying to get it to go inside of those super cool little water things, and I don't think I'm being very, in my mind, I'm not being very successful at it. So we'll just draw our sun in here. And it's hard to get a circle when you're bumping up against the middle there. That's okay. All right, I don't like that at all, but I'm gonna get it. Cheat. Actually, that's just using what's on hand. That's not cheating. That feels better to me. That little graphic artist in me popping out again. And then I want to put some trees, and I thought I would actually put a couple of different. To add a little bit of interest, different size trees to indicate a little bit where they are in comparison to the house. So And I don't even necessarily very much need my trunks to be either on center or straight. So these go in front of this line, and that is a little bit of an indication that they are here by the house. And then I'm going to just make a couple smaller ones back here and a couple smaller ones back here. Isn't that fun how when you like just take your mind off of it, it just has a much fresher feel than when you're trying to control it a little bit. So I'm going to actually see what I can do with my pencils today. I think I mentioned these Inktense pencils in the supply video, and I'm going to use them today for my coloring on here. And I think it would actually turn out better if I had put some white down on these hills, but I didn't. Well, I can do that now. Just to block some of that warm color out. Although it would be fun to have a little bit. Ooh, look at that. Whoo-hoo. Wowzer. Kind of looks a little bit more like a sky, but we'll come in and fix that later. So I'm going to rinse this off so I don't start with blue on the other side. Oh, isn't that kind of amazing, huh? I want this part to have more of a green. My orange my sun is going to be perfect. I do believe with that orange in there. And I think I'm going to just put a little white here and a little white here. And I'm going to let that orange color just come through there. And I just glanced back at my Bible, and I had written a little note in my Bible saying, you know, that Psalm 30 is written by King David, and boy, he knew both trials and favor, didn't he? I mean, his heart was after the Lord. It tells us in the Word, and yet he had his share of trials. I mean, it took him a long time to be king. There was a long path to prepare him for being the king. And so if you're in the midst of that long path right now, know that the reward at the end that comes along with that preparation is going to be absolutely amazing, and similar to King David's, because look at the favor he had for the rest of his lifetime. And it's not like he didn't make his mistakes. He did, and I certainly won't apologize for him, but his kingdom, and consequently Solomon's kingdom, they enjoyed the most peace after a lot of war because of the favor of the Lord. So I'm going to come back and augment my sun here while the white is drying. Could probably put a little yellow in there too, although I didn't pull my yellow pencil out. I also want, like I mentioned, just a little bit so that you can see in the heart and in the house the favor of the Lord there too. And I think that's it for my orange. And then my trees, this is actually called mustard, and it's actually kind of a cool green color. So I'm going to put that towards the top of my hills. Oh, my sun is coming from this way. Oh. We'll have to remember that as my sun usually comes, I almost always have my light coming from here, so let's add some green. some the other shade of green. This is what, field green? Yeah. And there can actually be just a suggestion back here of that green. And teal green will be my dark. It's a little bit, you know, it says teal, I'm sorry, it's really not. And then I want to put some of that same green on the top. I put that on the top of these hills over here. That blue, I think, will help pull you back into the background there. I'm feeling my camera. I hope I'm not wiggling that for you again today. All right. Let's get some of that blue. It was much easier to have I took my pencils out and put them on my new little wall here, and it was, quite frankly, a lot easier to have them in their little case so that I knew exactly where each color was at all times. But it's okay. This is actually a fuchsia. I'm just going to put some shading in this house. And the light is coming from this direction, but I haven't really done a good job of reflecting that on this side of the house because I want this part where the house comes forward to reflect that light. So, yeah, you can do stuff. I just give you permission. All right, so let's just take and put some water on these pencils. This is going to be probably the most sketchy of what we've done so far, I think. I am wiping some of the water off down below. I don't know if you can see that. I guess you can see that down here. Never quite sure what color to do those roofs in, tell ya. Throw a little yellow up on the top of this just because I want to highlight that a little bit. I want it to stand out. I want my heart to stand out. Could have a little fuchsia towards the bottom too, just to add a little dark. And let's just see here. I'm getting too much water on my brush. I love how this background, my house comes in front of the hill. Okay. Had to stop and think for a minute there. I'll put the most contrast in my house here because that to me is the most important. And I'm not going to color in the roof because I know I'll change my mind and not be happy with it later. So I want to just think about that for a few moments before I do that. However, I will put a couple splatters on. That orange, I have to see if I have a different color orange because that orange is not splattering well for me. All right, and then I'm going to dry it for 1 second. And here we go, our favorite little sketching time. And you know, I am pretty sketchy with my ink, so can't see this pen works super great over these pencils, but it's working well enough. And that's it for my sketch today. And that is Psalm 30. I didn't write that down. I didn't do any doodles over here. Any notes, excuse me. Psalm 30, 4 to 5. And I will add some notes about King David and his trials and his favor and what he passed on to his son. So there you have it, my friends. Have a blessed day. Toodles!